All right, Bulls Nation. So get some bad news. So Alex Caruso is out 6 to 8 weeks because of a fractured wrist because of that flagrant foul too by Grayson Allen last night against Milwaukee. This can't come in at a worse time for the Bulls because we already have Lonzo Ball out for the same period of time, basically around 6 to 8 weeks, and wrist injury, kind of like Patrick Williams. So all of our good defenders are out right now. Uh, it's not even an argument that Caruso and Ball are two of our best defenders. It's not even an argument, and they're both out. Hopefully, Levine comes back soon because we went from having a deep backcourt to now no backcourt because we only have currently Kobe White and Ayo, and they're doing a great job holding down the fort. Honestly, I mean, outside of the game last night for Kobe, he's been balling this past few games. However, with that being said, let's say Zach comes back mid next week, so that means Ayo is gonna stay in the number one position, and then Kobe's coming off the bench. We need another point guard to relieve Ayo with his minutes and all that stuff. We might need to sign somebody from two-way player or somebody like IT maybe. I don't know, but not IT is good for scoring purposes, but we need like a defensive point guard. That's the thing, somebody big. George Hill is not available obviously, but we got to take a look at some free agents out there, somebody that can defend. It's tough. It's tough because we're just getting to the groove, and you saw the Bulls. They played differently when Caruso's on the floor, and even though we lost the game last night, you see the effort. Like Caruso just brings a different energy to the Bulls, and hopefully we get somebody, temporarily, to replicate that, or even get half of that, like the defensive prowess of Caruso. I mean, it's gonna be hard, I know, but we're gonna have to manage around 2 months without having two of our best defenders, and one can only hope that Javante would come back. If he does, at least we got some help, in the power forward position. He's a versatile defender, but as of right now, our backcourt is just decimated. You know, it's this is the best and most frustrating season at the same time for Chicago. I've never been this excited since the Derrick Rose era. Maybe I don't know what was the last time that they've been pretty good. 2014, perhaps 2015. But at the same time, that just goes away with all these injuries. The good news is all hope is not lost. We built enough equity, hopefully, to sneak in with the top four. Hopefully, we get in still to the top four. I don't think we can maintain this pace of being number one. I think we're number two as we speak. If we can maintain top four, maybe even top five, we'll be lucky to get into that spot. And once we get everyone back healthy, just in time, perhaps for the playoffs. Hopefully, we get Patrick Williams there as well. But man, it just keeps on, raining down on us. My goodness. We went from just looking for a viable big man, power forward, to now looking at different options, even at guard. And, with the deadline coming up, with all these injuries, it's going to be hard to make a trade because we don't have assets to begin with. We don't have our only trade chip as of that point was Kobe White. And if all our backcourts are healthy, we could, trade Kobe White, because if we got Ball on the starting one, and let's say Levine starting two, then we still got Caruso and Ayo on the backcourt coming, from the sub. So that leaves, Kobe as the odd man out if all of us were healthy. The problem is we're not. So, the search for a big man just became a little bit more, it's going to be a little bit more tougher because trade-wise, all you can trade now is, DJ, which is he's a vital part of this team as well, currently with his, versatility and his length. But do teams really want DJ? He's on an expiring contract. He's a tweener basically, and he's a wing. I mean, you're not going to get quality players for that unless you package him with a young asset like Kobe White. When Kobe White was balling right now, that was the perfect time to get some quality big men, if that's what the Bulls were looking for. I firmly believe they weren't looking for a big star anyway to fill in that position, because from what I've heard, they are really high on Patrick Williams, as they should be. But yeah, we went from a short-term solution to now very short-term. We're gonna look into buyouts now, especially with the power forward position and the point guard. They might have to sign, a few hardship players here and there, to get us by, but it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough. It's gonna be Matt Thomas joining. If Zach LaVine comes back next week, joining Kobe White, and now we're putting Kobe White back in the number one, and maybe Matt Thomas number two, or maybe, as always, we put DeRozan in the second unit and he brings the ball down. We'll see, but we need a defensive-minded point guard to make this happen. So hopefully, it doesn't cost us too much with all these injuries. Something's got to give, right? We're going to lose string of games, which we already did. But if we get some help back, within next week or so, hopefully, thank God next week it's going to be a little bit easier schedule than this past week. So let's cross our fingers, Bulls Nation. It's the worst thing that could happen to us. But the good news is it's happening now instead of March, where potentially it's playoffs time. So that's the only silver lining to this. But let me know in the comments how you feel about this. Plus, I hope Grayson Allen gets suspended. I mean, initially the foul doesn't look that bad, but when the replay, gets shown, and he has a reputation. I don't think it's going to be out the same time frame as Caruso's out, but suspend the guy for, I don't know, 3 games or something. Let him suffer the consequences for this. Take out his paycheck. You can't be hurting people all the time, or doing these malicious things every single time and get away with it. This is not the college anymore. This is the NBA. A lot's at stake. Even on college, you can't do that. But, he could have ended his career. Now he could potentially cost the Bulls the season. So, I don't know. I'm upset right now, but this would pass by, and hopefully we get a string of wins next week to get this a little bit easier to digest. But thank you for watching, guys. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so, and I'll see you guys in the next video.